By the way, you're pushing women into giving birth, but they have no health insurance, they have no health care. So you're forcing her to give birth, right? But then you're gonna give her a big ass bill, right, as she births that kid.
And the man who impregnated her probably 9 times out of 10 does not want to stick around.
So you saddled her with a kid and a bill and a man that doesn't want to be involved.
And she can't go to work. There's no child care.
And then she can't go to work and there's no child care. Y'all are evil. Y'all are the worst people on the planet. Oh my God. It's just, the more I think about it, the worse it gets. You didn't outlaw abortions for anyone. You outlawed safe abortions. There's nothing in this world that can stop a woman who has made up her mind. Hello everybody and welcome back. I am the Sovereign and welcome back to Mama Sovereign here, joining us for the first time in Privy Council. Yes, I am calling Privy Council. We haven't had a political discussion since the Ukrainian-Russian war began. Privy Council is where we discuss politics. We like to be very knowledgeable over here, and we also encourage the knowledge of the queens that we support because this is part of their interview skills. They're going to be asked questions about this. I promise you, Miss USA competitors, all of this, there's going to be a piece of this in your closed door interview and possibly on stage. So it is really important to stay informed. Beyond that, this is a women's issue that is happening today. And I don't want to get too upset as of yet, even though you guys know I'm wearing the crown of shade. So the reason Mom is here is because I do believe that she's the only person on the planet, probably not the only person on the planet, but likely the only woman in the United States who does not know what Roe versus Wade is. Mom, do you know anything about Roe versus Wade?
Spill it.
But do you know anything?
No, I didn't know anything. Let's go.
You know nothing?
I don't know.
Did you learn about it in school? Did you hear about it from a teacher?
I don't recall. Maybe after I'm informed, then it may juggle a memory. I don't know.
Is there any connection?
No!
So the first thing I'm going to have to do is explain what Roe versus Wade is before we get into the whole landmark decision, because things happen. I got to catch everybody up. Okay, so we got to start at the beginning. In the beginning, women did not have any rights. We were basically cattle, almost like, you know, black people.
I'm not that far behind.
Almost like black people, but not quite that bad.
Not that far behind.
But I'm just saying, some people are.
All right.
Not everybody here is American. They don't know.
Okay.
But constitutionally, women were not birthed into this country with the right to vote or choose, or honestly the right to anything. Own land, have property over your kids, like nothing. We didn't have the right for nothing.
Norma McCorvey, a cleaning woman from Katy, Texas, was 22 when she found herself pregnant for the third time. By 1970, she'd already given up 2 of her girls for adoption, but it was a desire to terminate her third pregnancy that led Norma to file a lawsuit against the state of Texas. She never did have the procedure, but more than 2 years later, against tremendous odds, Norma, who filed anonymously under the pseudonym Jane Roe, won.
The Supreme Court today ruled that abortion is completely a private matter to be decided by mother and doctor in the first 3 months of pregnancy.
And those angered by the ruling sometimes resorted to violence, killing lives in the name of saving them.
They bombed the clinics because God told them to do it.
In the decades since, there have been several challenges to the ruling, but none as serious as recent legislation. Mississippi, which only has 1 abortion clinic left, is going before the Supreme Court this fall to ask the conservative majority to throw out Roe and roll back abortion rights nationwide.
So, as of today, it has been officially decided by the Supreme Court Taliban leaders, that women no longer have the constitutional right to make a decision on their health care. We are no longer allowed to make the decision for ourselves that whether or not abortion is an option for us. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. But I don't understand how that can be effective without, us voting. We the people. Because if it's already been declared that this, if you want to overturn something like that, then you got to speak to people.
That is true, and that's part of the problem that a lot of people take with the Supreme Court is that they're not elected leaders. The president nominates the Supreme Court. And as I was saying earlier, 3 of the justices that handed down this decision testified under oath in front of Congress that Roe versus Wade is decided precedent that they would not touch. So basically saying that they committed perjury in front of all of us. Surprise, surprise. Supreme Court justices are douchebags. It was a law that women have the right to choose. The Supreme Court is saying it is not a constitutionally protected law. It's unconstitutional and therefore no longer valid, meaning the states can now decide whether or not you have the
a
option.
woman's right. What Supreme Court woman on there agreed to this?
Amy Coney Barrett. She agreed to this. She did. Yeah. Is there a way to revoke a woman's card? Because I think we should. I just think we should. Basically what has happened now is that the Supreme Court is handing the decision to each individual state saying, you
know what, I knew this was going to happen. Right when Texas, or what was that one that just took place where the girl didn't have the right, like they outlawed, what state, what city?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was, they outlawed abortion in one place, and I cannot remember where it was.
Oh, yeah. I do believe that was Texas.
While in Texas, where Norma sued for an abortion all those years ago, a recent bill known as SB 8 has already succeeded at banning abortions after 6 weeks, with no exceptions for rape or incest, empowering civilians to enforce it with lawsuits against doctors who unlawfully perform the procedure. Clinics say it's effectively ended abortion in America's second most populated state and galvanized people on both sides.
Yeah, that's where it started.
The reason that they did that was because they were hoping that it would make it to the Supreme Court so that they could get this done.
I knew it when that happened.
Everybody did. And that's the thing. Everybody kind of saw this coming, but we were relying as a people on the Supreme Court. Understand that regardless of how you feel on the subject of abortion, you don't have to have one, number one. But number 2, the Supreme Court had assured the American people, many of them when they were appointed as justices, that this was a precedent they were not willing to step on. And the reason everybody was so afraid of this happening is because we knew the ramifications of doing this is not only going to result in the deaths of women and young girls and children. It's also going to infuriate an American public who largely, like the large majority of the American public, affirms the right to choose.
Do you not know the crime rate is going to go up? They're barely catching rape cases now.
That's true.
Like, what?
So some of you are like, okay, well, what does this mean? Does it mean it's outlawed everywhere? No. What this means is the Supreme Court is not banning abortion outright. It means each individual state gets to decide whether you women, you ladies, are allowed to get abortions in their state.
Is it only the Supreme Courts that's getting to decide, or are we the people in each state are getting to?
No, and that's why we're saying we're losing our right. Because it used to be each individual woman gets to decide what's right for her. She no longer has that right.
Well,
the men in power in her state now get to make that decision for her. That is the issue.
Well, all I can say to the Supreme Court Justice, you brought this on yourself.
Oh yeah, there's protests everywhere.
No, it's going to be way more than protests.
It's going to be way more than
exactly.
Protests.
You brought it on yourself.
It's real bad for women's rights right now. The country was already so divided that there was a wave to come back from that. But to go this far into removing rights of women, and it gets worse than this, because I think it was Justice Clarence Thompson came out and stated that he was willing to revisit other laws that have been established precedent for many years, including like the right to privacy, which for those of you that
they want to put more cameras.
No, we're not talking about that. Right to privacy, meaning the state is not going to invade your sexual life, your personal life, your bedroom. Meaning those of you that are a part of the LGBT community or allies of the LGBT community, those laws that are protecting not women's, but people's right to be with who they want to be with, those are now under question. Those are now under threat. Also, they're putting under threat birth control. A lot of this is coming from the evangelical right, people who are overly religious, which if that's your choice, that is your choice. But this is where I'm going to get a little sassy and
it's more
saucy,
than that.
okay? And I know some people
It's
are about
more
to just
than
give me a
just-
second on this one. Because just give me a second. Because I know everybody's waiting for it. The people that are largely pushing this are the people that are Republican, who are devout, supposedly devout Christians, right? Supposedly they're devout Christians. Now, whatever your religious beliefs, everybody knows that I didn't bring my constitutional book here. It's still next to my desk, but that's one thing that I keep on my desk at all times is the U.S. Constitution and the Art of War. Hello. Anyways, the people that are pushing this are people that have strict religious views. However you may view religion, whatever your feelings on it, it's not about your religion. We don't care about your religion. It's not about how you feel, your church, your morals, your beliefs, your anything. The United States law, there is supposed to be a separation between church and state. And I have little to no respect for any politician who stands in front of me and uses the Bible, thumps the Bible in my face as some sort of justification for the laws that they want to pass. Because if I allowed any other religion to sit up here and dictate their beliefs, morality to the American people, either on my channel or on a political stage, the United States wouldn't allow it. We all know how people get all bent out of shape about Sharia law, Muslims, even Judaism. Like people don't want to hear it. It's like, we don't follow your religion. But for whatever reason, the Christians get to sit up here and Bible thump and dictate and try to enshrine religion into law, which I'm going to say no. You do not get to force your religion on anyone, including you Christians. And I'm saying that as a Christian. It's a no for me. Absolutely not. So the ramifications of this, besides people protesting outside of the Supreme Court, they're barricaded, right? The Supreme Court is now barricaded. And I had a lot of respect for the Supreme Court. I damn near cried when I actually got to touch the golden door when I was in DC. I have pictures of me next to the door. I was so proud. And thank God I got to do it when Ruth Bader Ginsburg was alive, because now they're an embarrassment to the political system.
This is crazy.
They didn't outlaw abortions. They outlawed safe abortions. They outlawed legal abortions. Because as a woman, I'm going to tell you right now, there is nothing on this planet you can do to stop a woman who does not want to give birth to your child.
A lot of bad things going on. A lot of bad things.
Women have been getting abortions since the dawn of time. Whether it be homemade teas or coat hanger wire abortions in a back alley, women will find a way. So what you did was outlaw the safe abortions, the ones that are going to preserve the life of the mother as carefully as possible. And you've put in jeopardy women who will do anything to have them.
It's not just
and
them.
Little girls whose lives could possibly be ruined by you forcing them to give birth to a child that they cannot care for or are not ready for. And this is the problem with the Republicans specifically. This is all at the feet of the Republicans. Democrats, like they suck. They do. Okay. I ain't about to defend Joe Biden and say he's great at anything.
Some people rather they lose their own child than their child give birth to someone that they didn't want.
Yes.
Like this is really bad.
For those of you who really aren't seeing this in context,
pregnancies that,
you're forcing assault victims to give birth to children they cannot love because of the circumstances under which they became pregnant. You are forcing little girls to give birth to children they cannot care for, don't know how to raise. You're bringing kids into this world who have no supervision, who have no caring hands, loving hands. And then this is a decision coming from the people who do not want to fund the programs and organizations to help these kids who don't have the support. These little children who you saying you're pro-life, you're pro-birth, but you're not pro-child, child support. You don't want to support these kids. You don't want to feed these kids. You don't want to educate these kids. But you want to bring them into the world, but provide them no safe foundation for the families that cannot provide for them. Damn, you can't even protect the schools. Why is it in this country that guns have more rights than women at this point? And now the United States has degressed behind some third world countries that the United States couldn't imagine, right? Couldn't imagine being on their level. Y'all are behind Guatemala and Cuba. Make it make sense. No, we go to war. Women need to go to war. This is war. The way the way you lose your rights is not immediate. It's slow.
It's true.
It is slow and it is gradual. It does not happen all at once.
Right.
Because now that this has happened, it's almost like a free-for-all against anybody who thought that they had established rights. Those of you who are so LGBTQ friendly, those of you who are gay and lesbian, have same-sex partners, the laws that protect your marriage are under threat. That has already been stated publicly. They're coming for yours. And right now trending on Twitter is the Loving v. Virginia case, which guarantees the right to interracial marriage. It's giving people the right to marry basically who you love. That is the case that struck down the laws against interracial marriages. And that is now trending because that is the only law that Justice Clarence Thompson left off of his list of laws that he wants to revisit, ironically, because he has a white wife. But for those of you who thought you had rights, your rights were safe. They're not. And this is proof of it. And I do want to talk to all the men that are in the comment section. I do. We need to have words because for whatever reason, men think they have a say in this conversation. He who hath not a uterus should shut the fucketh up. Philippians 13:13. I know a lot of men love to just, I don't know, be involved. You guys love to just colonize a conversation. You just love to jump in there even when it's not your right. Like, you just don't like being told no and not being involved in everything because that's just how you were raised as men. I get that. This is not the conversation for you though, because you don't have to suffer with this. You don't have to deal with this. You don't have to deal with you. Okay, we have to deal with you. And for those, there's some men that are like rejoicing, right? Because they think for whatever reason, women now are going to be forced to birth your kids. We're not. We're not. No. And I need people to understand that women will choose death.
Yeah.
They will choose death.
That's sad. That is really
rather
sad.
than give birth to some of your children. That is the problem here. It's not the fact that women are going to stop having abortions, but they are more than willing to put their lives on the line and risk death rather than have your kid.
No, it's not.
You're not going to stop
It's
them.
not having
You're going to
your
kill
kid.
them.
It's having forced,
Yeah, you're being forced into a decision you don't want.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying if by some stroke of the devil I became pregnant right now, which is highly unlikely because it would be immaculate. But even still, if I somehow found myself in that situation, would I be willing to risk my life to have an abortion? I surely would. Easy. Absolutely. Yes, I can totally admit to that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of men, they love to say, well, we should have the right to say what we want to happen to our children. Number one, men, you got to come to terms with this is not your choice because you don't carry that child. You don't have a uterus. And when you do have one, you can make that decision. But until you do have that, you don't get to make that decision.
Because guys just think that we're just talking about our bodies. You don't understand the trials and tribulations that a body goes through to create a human.
No, they don't understand anything, which is
Some
why
women get really ill.
They don't have the right to speak
Women
on the
lose
subject.
their lives.
I will tell men where your choice lies because they want to say that they have a choice on this. You do have a choice. Men, you have a choice in who you impregnate.
Indefinitely.
So choose wisely. Because after that, after your initial choice, once
Right.
you hand your decision and your genital matter over to that woman, everything that happens after
What's
that
the law
is
saying
her decision.
that if you get a woman pregnant, you have to marry her?
Exactly. Where's that law? Because if that's that needs to be in law. If we have to carry your
You got to
kid,
give her
you have
something
to
because
marry
9
her.
times out of 10, it's unsure if they're going to be around and she's forced to raise the child
so
on
she's
her own.
forced to raise the kid, and you can
who's
just go
to
off.
say-
If we're forced to carry your kid, then you're forced to give me a ring. Hi, daddy. It's horrible. But men always want to say that they have a decision. You have a decision in who you impregnate. So you either wrap it up and be safe yourself and make sure you choose a woman who identifies with what your religious beliefs are and what your viewpoints on the matter are. Because after that, after you choose the woman you impregnate, everything else is on her. So start choosing a little bit more wisely instead of being so reckless. But this also is going to affect your daughters. Because God forbid something happens to your teenage daughters, your mother, your sister, your wife. It's devastating because this decision just killed a lot of women and children, destroyed some families.
Yep, for sure that. For sure that.
This is outlawing abortions for the people that need it the most. It is the underprivileged, the poorest in our community that need this because the rich people can fly to any state that is necessary to get their medical care.
What about the disabled people
That's what I'm saying.
harmed?
If you live in a state that has outlawed abortions, but you want to come get one in California, people that have the financial ability to do so can. But it's the poor women who are stuck with no access, forced to give birth. And some of these women are single mothers that already have kids. They can't financially support the kids they have. They're being forced to bring another one into the world. They're going to lose out on possibly a job, their work ability because of being pregnant. Back in the 1960s, even beyond that, a majority of women were not working. Like 70% of women did not have to have a job, did not work. And a lot of women couldn't because they were constantly pregnant. You are removing women's ability to care for themselves and their families because they cannot access the proper medical care to sustain the life that they have already built for everybody else around them. There's other people relying on this women. So it's not just a woman's life you're destroying, it's her family's. It's her children.
And meanwhile, it's going back. We're going backwards.
It is
to
100%.
where men are going to have multiple women because they're unsatisfied with what's at home due to what they've created. You know, she's unhappy. She's always busy. She's mentally blocked from having,
men, you should be scared. You should be scared because your mistresses are going to be giving birth. Your mistresses are going to be giving birth. They're forcing
Look at all
women and young girls into the worst possible situation you possibly could give them. A situation that most women would not be willing to live through. You understand that. Most women do not have the mental fortitude to even contemplate giving birth to their rapist babies
today, and these women are forced to just give birth.
They can't. They won't. As a woman, I'm telling you, a lot of women will choose death than give birth to a child they were forced into. It's not going to happen. But you're sentencing them to death.
It's really sad. We have like real minors, like elementary
school kids getting pregnant. And it's not any fault of their own, but I
don't think they took everything into
There's no sanctuary for these little girls. What do their mothers do? And what happens to the kids? Because everybody can scream pro-life all day, but you're not here to help take care of them, to raise them, protect them, feed them. The Republicans are against every program that provides for these kids that people were not ready for.
It's not just that. It's messing up minds. People are not mentally prepared to deal with this.
No!
At all.
I could not imagine.
You destroy people.
What I would go through if I found out today I was pregnant and also that you weren't going to allow me to have an abortion.
I'm just saying, if I had
the only way you could force me to have a child right now against my will, you would have to lock me up in a padded room in a psych ward in a straitjacket.
I'm just saying, no woman today wants to be pregnant and I would back to back. And right now you're telling them they don't have a choice.
Yeah. And then who's providing for the kids? How do they go to work? Where's the child care? Who's caring for the kid? Where's the child care? Where's the child care? Because America...
Where's the support for the mom? Because she's not going to be there.
She's not. So their mothers have no support in this country. The United States loves to say, we have the best country in the world. We have the best nation in the world. I love my country as much. I do. I'm very patriotic. You guys know that. But I'm not delusional. The United States is far from being the best nation on the planet. All right? Every other developed nation in the world has mandated maternal and paternal leave. Men get maternal leave, like to go home and help the mother with their newborn baby and bond. Men are given that right in Europe. Women are given like 30 days up to a year in some nations of maternal leave to take care of their children. The United States guarantees no time off for women when you give birth. None. Where's the support?
Well, you get some time.
No, you don't. It is not you get some time.
Oh, it depends on who you work for.
Yes, I'm saying in other nations, it is a guaranteed right. No matter where you can work at McDonald's, you get guaranteed time off if you become pregnant. You work for the government. So they take care of you. Government workers get taken care of, but it is not a mandated right for everybody in the United States. If your job's nice enough to give you some time off, good for you. But you're not owed it. It's not dictated. Other countries, it is written into law. You get time off. Other countries, it is written into law. You have access to childcare. The support structure for women overseas, they have all the support that they really could need. The government really does support them. That is not here in the United States. So not only are you forcing these children into life, you're forcing them into an unsustainable, unhealthy life.
This is really bad.
And I implore those of you who think that this is a good thing to put yourself in the position of a 17-year-old girl who, was molested by an uncle and is about to, she's in her first trimester. What would your mindset be? Because I know what mine would be. Okay.
It's not, oh, well.
No, I told you guys, you would literally have to put me in a straitjacket in a padded room, and I would still find what, like, my mind would go to a self-harm type of place. I do not have the mental capacity to be forced into giving birth against my will. I wouldn't do it. I'm the type of woman that would risk my life to make sure that did not happen. And honestly,
no one would want that for their little kid.
Most women are of that mindset. And even after this child is born and these women are struggling, no one's there for them. People call them single mothers. They call them, you're a horrible mom. You don't know how to take care of your kid. They don't have the finances to care for the kid. So then the state gets involved and takes the kid from them, and you drop them in an overly crowded, underfunded foster care system.
Where they get more harm.
Where they get harmed. They get, they're injured. They're not cared for. They end up with mental issues. They don't have anybody to truly love them or care for them.
All they do is background checks for foster parents.
So it's just like you force these women.
That's not enough.
To have the kids. And then you force these kids into a situation where they're underfed, they're not cared for. And then you take the kid from the parent who tried to avoid the situation in the first place. You stick the child into likely a home that's not necessarily going to care for them the best. There are some foster parents that are absolutely fantastic, but the likelihood of you striking gold like that is slim to none. So then these kids go to a foster care system who's underfunded, and these people can't properly care for the child, and they're shuffled from home to home without any true love or connection.
The long term.
These kids are not getting the proper education. The likelihood of them going into college, look up the statistics on that. That's not going to happen. Like, it's a never-ending cycle. And the likelihood of a single mom having a child as a teenager, it's astronomical. Like, it's more than likely that that's going to happen. So then the cycle just continues. It just re-perpetuates itself. A woman that has a child at 16 and 17 years old is likely going to give birth to a young woman who also gets pregnant as a teenager. The cycle just keeps going. Just to put this on camera, for all the underground women trying to help other women in those tyrannical states who no longer have access to proper health care or medical care, a majority of abortions are carried out through pills at home. They're at-home abortions that are in the first trimester. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're down there like, you would allow third trimester abortions? No, shut the fuck up. Nobody said that. Okay, cram it. But the majority of abortions are carried at home. They're done at home. So the suggestions for those of you who live in a red state who need this type of medical care, you can get abortion pills mailed to your residence. I am more than willing to provide my home address to be able to facilitate gathering some of these abortion pills, because I live in California, and if I can get in contact with an organization that does this, because there is a kind of underground railroad to help women, I will become a part of that. I have no problem helping to funnel these types of medications to women who desperately need them. A lot of California women are willing to do that, and I volunteer. I will figure out a way to help if I can. I'm down. I don't want any woman to suffer, but I want that information to be out there. If you need this type of medical care, it is available to you. So please do not give up on yourself, your family, your daughter. Help as much as you possibly can. And for those of you who have the access to help others, please do so. We're living in the dark times. The Death Eaters are winning. California will remain unchanged. Abortion will be protected in California. And a lot of the red states know this. So now some of them are instituting laws where they want to be able to sue any woman or prosecute any woman who goes out of state to obtain an abortion. So a lot of people are going to run to California because this is the place that's going to protect you. But then when you return to your home state, they want to prosecute you and or sue you for leaving the state to have an abortion.
Well, guess there are going to be a lot of people leaving in general.
Yeah, you're going to have to move states. But like I said, a lot of underprivileged people do not have that ability to just up and relocate.
You feel me? How do we get...
You are punishing the poorest among us because, like I said,
they'll find a way.
Rich people have a way to get what they want. They can leave the state. They can leave the country. They don't care. They can pay a private doctor. But it's the women who have multiple kids that likely are seeking out abortions because they know they cannot build a sustainable life for the incoming child. She's trying to make a responsible decision, not only for her health and welfare, but for the lives of her children. And she can't. You're not just punishing the woman and the child. You're punishing the other children that have already been born. You're literally taking food and comfort from them. So every state is getting to make this decision, but now it's going to be a battle amongst the states. whether or not it's even legal for, like, say in Arkansas to sue California or to sue a woman because she went to California to get an abortion. Like,
this is a mess.
It's a
This
mess.
is very messy.
Technically, the Constitution, the people that are hardcore constitutionalists, they're saying it was not written in the Constitution, a woman's right to abortion. You want to know what else wasn't written into the Constitution? You want to know what else was written into Constitution? Constitutionalists? The fact that I'm not a fully fledged human being. That wasn't written into the Constitution. Okay, so are we re-invoking the rights to slaves, because that one 100% was written in the Constitution? The people that are hardcore constitutionalists who want to say the founding fathers didn't write this in the Constitution, I would like to remind you, okay, because I feel like y'all don't have a black friend. That's why you have me. I would like to remind you people that the founding fathers were slave owners. A large majority of them were slave owners. Okay. Let's just say that I don't think us as a people can collectively say they didn't make the best decisions in 1776. So if you're going to say it wasn't written to the Constitution, we can pull a lot of stuff out of the Constitution and say, well, technically, if those of you who want to petition the state to own me, technically that's a constitutional right, right? When you come get me, I dare you. This is the shit we're dealing with right now.
We can take this list and shove it where the sun don't shine.
You guys want women to be forced to have your kids?
Yep.
Okay. I'm willing to compromise. Okay. I feel like our political system needs to learn how to compromise. So I'm willing to compromise. But if women have to be forced to bear your children, first time you get a woman pregnant, you got to marry her.
I just feel like this is so much entrapment.
It is entrapment. It is entrapment. And like I said, you didn't outlaw abortions for anyone. You outlawed safe abortions. There's nothing in this world that can stop a woman who has made up her mind. Nothing.
This isn't just about women. Children. Do you know, oh my God, goodness, how many crimes have been committed with minors that like barely understand puberty?
There are men that have murdered women who wanted to keep their children, and the men did not want her to have his child because he was already married or already involved or he already had too many kids for whatever reason. This affects men too.
And how do you I
can't even think about it. I would cry. I could cry right now. I could cry. I could truly cry. Because I know somewhere y'all just sentenced a young teenager.
Younger than that.
Either into motherhood or into suicide. That's what you just did.
Not just that.
You just sentenced somebody's baby to death.
Yeah. I mean, even if she gives birth, postpartum, she doesn't understand what she went through or what she's going through.
What the defense of this is going to be that they're allowing states to decide. Which it's still bullshit. Okay, I need everybody to understand that. Oh, well, each individual state gets to decide. It used to be each individual person gets to decide.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Not an office or a room full of goddamn men who get to decide for you. Each individual person, each family. It was private. My body is private. My bedroom is private. My love life is private. It's none of your business. For Republicans, people who say that they are so devoted to keeping the government out of our lives, hands off my guns, hands off my goddamn ovaries. For those of you who are like, we're so, Republicans, we're so for the lack of government involvement. Government shouldn't be involved. You are literally invading my vagina. I never want to hear anybody, and I'm totally for gun rights, by the way, but I don't even want to hear the complaints about people trying to take your guns away. You are allowing people's rights to be taken away. This affects everybody across the board, not just Democrat women. Republican women, they screwed you. Your people screwed you. And not only did they screw you out of your health care, they have screwed you out of child care. They have screwed you out of universal health care. They're not even willing to help you feed your child or give coverage to your child when it comes to their health.
So basically women aren't going to be the majority out there doing the work right
Republican women should be pissed.
Yeah, but
you should be pissed.
So this is basically putting men back on top.
Oh yes, 100%.
Because women were we were
equal.
Yeah,
we were equal.
There was a lot of us out there. Most is females that's graduating.
Because along with this law, there's nothing that forces a man to help support that child. Like, yeah, you can put them under child support, but that's still a struggle in and of itself. They've saddled you with the kid and all the emotions and health that comes with it. Which they're by the way, you're pushing women into giving birth, but they have no health insurance. They have no health care. So you're forcing her to give birth, right? But then you're gonna give her a big ass bill, right, as she bursts that kid.
And the man who impregnated her, probably 9 times out of 10, does not want to stick around.
So you saddled her with a kid and a bill. And a man that doesn't want to be involved.
And she can't go to work. There's no child care.
And then she can't go to work and there's no child care. Y'all are evil. Y'all are the worst people on the planet. Oh my God. It's just, the more I think about it, the worse it gets.
Just none of this makes sense.
It really doesn't. And I don't care. Once again, everybody in the comment section, when it comes to the United States, the overwhelming majority of people in the United States supports the right to choose. If you're religious, don't get one. If you want to have one, get one. If your health is at risk, get one. If incest happened, you have the right to choose. Everybody had that right. That has been taken.
This is a conspiracy.
No matter what you take away from this video, no matter what you are taking from this video, I need people to understand, those of you in the United States, you have to vote. I know it is a struggle. I know it is boring. I know we hate all the damn politicians.
I know you think it doesn't matter.
Right? Democrats and Republican politicians. Because there's some Democrats I would love to just snatch out of office right now.
There's a lot of people who think their one vote just won't count.
Yes, I understand.
Have hope.
I understand why you think it's just there's no hope. You have to vote. You have to. Because this is not the only thing that they're trying to take from you. You guys down there who say, well, get birth control, get condoms, those are on the chopping block too. You understand? Maybe you haven't heard it. You're not watching what I'm watching. Republicans want to take that away too, because it's God's will.
But just in general, if you're leaving it up to a man to protect a woman's body, come on.
You can't. And for you men who are trying to protect your daughters and your wives and your children, your families, thank you. Do everything. Like, you have to vote. It sucks. Midterms are coming. It's not a presidential election. I know it sucks. It's so boring. Please, you have to vote. We have no choice. It can and will get worse. It will get so much worse. You guys have not yet seen the news stories of women dying because of home abortion attempts that went wrong. But that happened in the 70s. There were news reports of women dying because abortions went so horribly wrong and women went through pain. They died in agony trying to get some non-doctor to give her an abortion because she was just that desperate.
And I'm sure all the secret pregnancies that girls have had and put their babies in dumpsters.
There's going to be a lot of babies in dumpsters. It is so much worse than what you can imagine. So if anything you could think of in this video, please go out and vote. Please. There are too many people in danger, and there's way more rights under threat than you realize. This video would be days long if I actually broke it down how bad this is about to be. Because we have a Republican majority in the Supreme Court right now. And they're coming after LGBTQ rights. Y'all are next. You are. Contraception already on the table.
That makes absolutely no sense because men practically don't protect themselves today.
They don't.
They don't go to the doctor. Like, we're screwed. We're screwed. Men don't get themselves checked out.
They don't.
You expect them to wear, like, contraceptives when they're, like, come on, really?
What really, it really kills me that
they won't even go get vasectomies.
Like, y'all are forcing women to have these kids. You don't even want to. You don't even want to pay for her one hospital visit to give birth. So you're saddling her with debt and a baby. I hate y'all. I hate you. I hate you so much. Everybody who's for this, I don't care. Fight me. Get on live stream so I can tell you to your face how much I hate you. Because as much as I think about this, I hate you because you made this decision without even a forethought of anybody that you could possibly be impacting. You didn't give a damn. You didn't care about their lives at all. You want to throw your dumbass book in my face as if you actually believe in it. This is not the decision of God-fearing people. You killed kids today. I'm pissed. Like, the more I think about it, I get angrier and angrier.
Yeah, because you can't stop the crimes that are going to be committed against women with this. If anything, it's being increased.
I'm pissed. Men, you should be pissed. Republican women, you should be pissed. I hate them. I'm so mad. What good was this supposed? Like, I just want to see what good. What good are we getting out of this? What is the good?
Yes.
Where's the good? Where's the good? We're saving baby. You didn't save babies from shit.
No.
You sentenced them to a life of depravity and lack of love. It is the worst life you can sentence a child to. Yeah. But you're pro-life.
Well, some people came from large families and they see nothing wrong from it.
These kids will not be cared for. You sentence these kids to the worst life imaginable, but you're pro-life. But you won't health care, child care. You want
the mouths today that people have. So, like, poverty is at increase.
Inflation rates going through the roof. You guys don't care. It's skyrocketing. Everybody have babies, right?
Right. This is not going to control population at all.
Are you going to care for the mothers after she gives birth?
There's going to be more diseases and things like that because, for sure, if you're taking away contraceptives, there's going to be more diseases and everything.
I'm so mad.
That's opening. Oh my goodness! I was about to get up. Are we finished?
Yeah, we're done. Nope, I'm mad. I'm pissed. I just sit here and stew more about it. And
I just keep thinking. Yeah, all you
I wish I lived in DC because I just want to
more and more things that are going to happen from this one.
The more you think about it, the worse it is. There's nothing good that comes from this decision. Nothing. People are like, "Well, you live in California. You know, you're safe. So I'm not supposed to care about the women that are dying in other states." That I'm not supposed to care?
Just in general, anything, on the other side of the world is eventually going to impact.
It is going to impact us. Hell, all the Europeans are better than us. When it comes to stuff like this, they're all better. They're better. But now the South Americans are looking at us like we are barbaric. And honestly, they're right. In the comment section below, let me know how you feel about this decision. Please slap the mouthy men that are down there thinking that they have a say. Okay? You get to choose who you marry, and that is your say. That is it. You don't have ovaries like... I don't want to hear how you feel about pro-life, whatever. I don't care.
Women, protect yourself at all costs. Like, be real choosy.
Because we already know some of these men ain't shit. And you guys, here's a click the link above over there to find out why I'm saying that.
Don't let them trick you into bed. Don't let them buy you drinks. Like,
some men are truly, some of you men are great, but right now women really have to
take your cups with you to the bathroom.
Some of these, what you guys really have to focus on protecting yourselves and just, I'm sorry, men. I know some of you are great, but right now women assume they're all evil for your own safety. Assume they're all evil because we have nobody.
You don't know who's out to get you.
Truly, but in the comment section below, slap the mouthy men who think they have a say. Light them up. I don't care. I refuse to tolerate it. The mouthy men who have something to say, light them up in the comment section because I'm going to be doing it myself. You have no say here. You don't have a uterus. You shut up. For the men that support, thank you. Thank you. Support women. If you are going to have something to say,
and men, protect your daughters.
It better be in support of women.
Protect your daughters.
Okay?
Teach them. Don't just protect them. Guard them. Teach them.
Americans, give me your perspective, how you feel on this subject. How this might affect you, would have affected you. There's some women that I know who have gone through abortions that like they've experienced it, and I don't even know how they would handle a decision like this had they not had it earlier. Like this would be so bad. But put your comments in the comment section below. I know this is a very inflammatory, controversial subject. I don't care. The situation needs to be discussed, and it is important. And it is important that you let your voice be heard because they're not listening. So scream louder. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in a future video.
Hold up. I gotta give a special shout out to my girl, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney.
Call me, girl. Call me.
Yes, special shout out to Sydney. Sydney became our friend today. Wasn't planned, but I'm happy to have met you, Sydney.
Awesome.
Like I said, hit the subscribe, the video a like, and we'll see you guys later. Ready for the bye? Gotta do the bye. I'll put on a happy face for this. I'll try. Come on.
They tripping.
Just do the bye. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. We can get through this. 1, 2, 3.
Bye. This does not rock.
This fucking sucks.